Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video I am going to teach you how to draft and sew a corset gown, a complete corset gown. Okay, please do well to subscribe, like, share and comment on my videos. So let's get started. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to draft a corset from the top to the joining of the skirt, the yoke, the boning, everything. So keep watching. So the first thing we need to do is to draft the corset pattern on a pattern paper. First thing I need to do is to draft my starting line, which will also serve as my shoulder point. Okay, that's the first point that we'll be needing. Then I'm going to place my tape on a straight line and I will be marking the points, my body points. So I'll mark my bust point at 10.5 and I'll mark my under bust at 14, my waist at 17 and my full length at 22 inches. Then I will mark a straight line on it. So I have my bust point marked, my under bust point marked, my waist point marked, and now the length of the corset marked. So I'll be labeling the lines, all the points. So that's the short form of all the things I've just mentioned. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my shoulder divide by 2. Then I mark it, my shoulder circumference divide by 2. Then I'll come down by 1.1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then I'll mark my armhole divide by 2, my armhole circumference divide by 2. I will mark it. So we are using 8 as our armhole circumference divided by 2. Then we'll mark a straight line there. So our armhole point now is the new chest point. Okay, so that's our chest point. So from that 1 inch that I came down with, I'm going to mark my armhole line. So on my armhole line, I'm going to divide my armhole line into 2. So next I am going to divide my bust circumference divide by 4. Then I'm going to mark it down. Okay, so my bust circumference into divide by 4 is 11 and 7/8. I'm going to mark it down. Then I'll, on my armhole point where I divided it by 2, I'm going to go in by 3/4 inch. Then I'll mark my armhole curve. So if you have a ruler, it will be easier for you to mark your armhole curve. The next thing I'm going to do is to divide my nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple, my client's nipple to nipple is 5. So I'm going to mark it down. She has a big bust. So I'm marking 5 as my nipple to nipple all the way to the full length. Then I'm going to mark a straight line like so. So once I'm done, the next thing I'm going to do is to move over to the neckline, that's the shoulder point, and I'm going to go in by 3.5 inch as the wideness of my client's neck, and I'm going to slant it to that 1 inch I went down on the shoulder side before. So on that shoulder point, I'm going to divide what I have on that slanted area. I have 2.5 inch. I'm going to mark it and then connect it to my bust point like so. So once I'm done, on my under bust, I'm going to go in by 1 inch and come out by 1 inch. Just 1 inch this side, 1 inch the other side, and I'm going to connect the lines together like so. So once I'm done, the next thing I'm going to do is to go down by 1 inch from my bust point. Then I'm going to curve it, connect it like so. From my under bust, connect it like so. So next thing I am going to do is to tighten my bust. So from my armhole, I'm going to go up by 1.5 inch. So I'm going to tighten my bust. I'm going to go up by 1.5 inch and on the center of the pattern like so, and I'll connect the lines together like this. On the center, I am going to go out by 1 inch, 1.2 inches. Then I'll come out by 0.75. Then I'm going to connect it to the bust point like so. That is for bust tightening. Okay, so now after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to go in by 1/2 inch on the center of the pattern paper, on the bust point and on the chest point. I'll mark 1/2 inch, connect the lines, then I'm going to connect it like so, and that is to form my corset cup. Now I am going to connect it to the under bust like so with my ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can use freehand. So we are forming our corset cup. So next thing I am going to do now is to measure the space between your full bust circumference, that place that you mark your bust circumference, to the armhole. I have 3 inches there. That place that I just marked now, you have 3 inches. You divide it by 2, it will be 1.5 inch. Then mark 1.5 inch, that's the center of that place. Then you're going to come down by half an inch. Come down by half an inch, then mark a straight line from that half inch like so. Mark a straight line there. It's going to serve as our new armhole line. Okay, so I'm going to connect it to the corset cup right now, to the bust tightening. We connect it there like so. So we have our new corset cup. Then I'm going to form my corset cup, joining from there to the arm under bust like so. So once I'm done, I label the corset cup 1 and corset cup 2. Label the yoke part of the corset. Okay, that's the yoke. So we are going to add back the measurement. Our bust circumference divided by 4. I add back the 0.5 and half inch that I removed. I add it back here. You can see my arrow, my green arrow there. We remove 0.5, 1.2 inches and also half inch. I added it back immediately. Then on the under bust area, I added my bust circumference divided by 4. I added the 2 inches that we removed. That place that my green arrow just pointed at, you are going to add the extra inches. My waist circumference divided by 4 plus the 2 inches that we removed, and my hip circumference divided by 4 plus extra inches, that's the 2 inches that we removed. Okay, then on that hip line, that's not my hip measurement though. So now I have added my hip measurement. Now this is my new hip measurement. I added the 2 inches now. So I'm going to connect the lines together. So after connecting the lines, I'm going to add extra 2 inches for the actual allowance. So this is for my allowance. So it's always good to add allowance to in all your dresses. Okay, so now I am going to come up by 2 inches for my hip for the curve. Okay, so I want to add curve to my corset. So for the curve, I went up by 2 inches. I'm going to connect it this way for the curve. So now once I'm done adding my side curve, I'm going to mark half inch on beside my corset cup like so. Half inch for my corset cup, I'll just mark half inch and I'll connect it like so. So this is how I connected it. Now I am going to, on the waist side, I'm going to go in by 3/4 inch on this side and the other side by 3/4 inch. Just a little bit curve, I just want to add curve there because it's going to have a corset, as in a boning. That's where my boning is going to pass through. So I want my boning to pass through on 3 sides of the front corset. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. This, if you like, you just cut it straight. This is just my own design. So on the neckline, I came down by 3.5 inch. Then I'll connect it. Remember, the wideness of the neck is 3.5. Now the depth of the neck for the front is now 3.5 inch also. Curve my corset cup. Now it's time to start cutting out the excesses. So I'll start from the yoke. So this is my yoke. Okay, so just take a look at how I am cutting out the whole thing. Okay, so this is how you're going to cut your own. Okay, so after that, this is all of it. Okay, this is the pattern. You keep it by the side, and let's move over to the back pattern. Okay guys, for the back, I've already marked my starting line as we did on the front piece. So I'm placing my tape on a straight line like so. I am going to mark my chest point because the bust point is not needed, my waist, and the full length. The full length of the back is 20 inches. Remove 2 inches from the front. Okay, So we have 20 inches as the full length of the back because of the bonbon. So the back is going to have a zip. It's not a corset lacing. It does not have lacing at the back. It's going to have a zip at the back. So I created my zip allowance, which is 1.5 inch. Then I'm going to mark a straight line for the points, for all the points that we'll be needing for the back. This is the chest line, and this is the waistline, and this is the full length. Remember, our full length for the back is 20 inches because of the back, the bonbon. Okay, so now I'm going to label the points now. So this is the points. You guys should forgive me, there are places that I'm supposed to add music there. Well, I'm afraid of copyright. All the musics I know are copyrighted. So now I'm going to label the zipper allowance at the zipper allowance area. I'm going to write it down there for you guys to see. Now after writing it down, the next thing I'm going to do now is to, like we did on the front piece, I'm going to divide my armhole circumference by 2. Okay, my armhole circumference divided by 2 is 8.5. I mark it down, then I'll come down by 1 inch, then mark 8.5 at my chest point and connect the lines to the 1 inch and stop. Then I'm going to go in by 3.5 inch for the wideness of the neck, and for the depth of the back neckline is 1.5 inch. Then I'll connect the lines. Then I will connect my shoulder slope also. Okay, this is my shoulder slope. So after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. Then I'm going to go in by 3 inches from the, after the zip. And every measurement you're putting down there is after the zip. I'm going to come down by 1 inch also, and I'll mark my back curve. That's the curve that is always at the back of the corset. So I've marked it. That's the curve for the back. Okay, now I want the back, the zip, that place that zip is going to start from, I want it to be straight, so I did not add any curve at the down part of it. So I mark my waist circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance, and my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance at the full length. Then I'll connect the lines together. So after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my nipple to nipple measurement, because I want to add boning at the back. My nipple to nipple, then I'll connect the lines together like so. Then on the waistline, I'm going to, no, don't do this, so don't do that. So I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my chest line and come up by 1 inch on the full length. Then I'll go in by 1 inch and come out by 1 inch on the waistline, and I'm going to connect it together like so. I'll connect it like so. So I've labeled back 1 and back 2. So I'm going to cut it out now. For the side, I'm going to come up by 1.5 inch for the side of the back. So I'll come up by 1.5 inch for the side. Then I'll mark my curve. I came down by 1 inch after, but I used the 1.5 inch. So I'm going to give it a curve for the side. Remember, we had the side curve on the front piece, so we added it back at the back piece. Then our armhole curve, this time around we're not going to go in by 3/4 inch, just mark it like that. Okay, now it's time to cut. There's nothing else. So when you are cutting the yoke, please do not add any zipper allowance. You see how I just cut it out? Don't add any zipper allowance at the yoke area. Just cut it out like so. And that's for the yoke, and this is the body. That's just it for the back. Okay, that is it for the back. It came out so nice. So now I'll go to my material. I'll cut everything. I will use this pattern paper to cut everything with my material. I will just fold by 2. When you are cutting with your material, fold by 2. Okay, fold your material into 2, place all this on top of it and cut out. So here I am done cutting out. I have 4 here, I have 4 here, I have 4 here, 4 of them on each of it. Okay, 4 of everything that I'm supposed to cut out. Then I also used an ester to iron all of them. I used an ester to iron it. Okay, so in my next video I am going to teach you how to join everything together to form a corset gown. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.